Okay, we're looking at number 4 on this sheet, which says one side of a rectangle is 3 feet shorter than twice the other side. Find the sides if the area is 209 feet squared. All right, draw yourself a rectangle. I don't know if you remember how we set these up, but just read it. One side of a rectangle is 3 feet shorter than twice the other side. Do you know the length of the other side? No, so I call one side x. And now they're saying, okay, so this other side is 3 feet shorter than twice this one. What does that look like in math? 2x minus 3. 3 feet shorter then means I'm going to minus 3 on the end. Twice the other side. So I'll have 2x minus 3. Does that make sense? I have one side that is 3, what am I in feet? 3 feet shorter than twice the other side. If the other side's x, there you go. And then it says, find the sides if the area is 209. How do you find area of a rectangle? You multiply length times width. So I'm just going to multiply these two together and set it equal to the 209. Right? Does that make sense? So, right, because area is just length times width. So my area, which is 209, equals, and it doesn't matter who you call length and who you call width. Who cares? One side's x, the other side is 2x minus 3. Well, ladies and gentlemen, how do you suppose I proceed from here? Yeah, let's distribute that x. So I get 2x squared and minus 3x. All right. Now what? What? How? Well, okay, so I have a quadratic, right? Because I have something being squared. So now I need to solve this quadratic using one of my 4 methods. I can solve by square rooting. Is this eligible for solve by square rooting? No, because I have an x term, so that's out. The next easiest, in my opinion, is to try factoring. So if I'm going to try factoring, what should I do first? Yes, you want it to equal 0, so I need to minus 209 to the other side. Okay, a is not 1, so my life isn't quite as easy. I can't divide everything by 2. So I'm going to either have to do the t's, or what else could you do? Would you complete the square with this one? Because that's another tool, right? You have 4 ways to solve quadratics. I don't care which one of them you use. We already said that you can't do completing the square, or you can't do square rooting, because that's not 0. I can try to factor it, but it's going to be a little bit tough. I have a kind of a big number here. Maybe it won't be. I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to find the factors quickly. But I have other tools. Would you solve this one by completing the square? Would that be a wise decision? Remember what completing the square consists of. You move c to the other side, you take half of b, you square it, you add it to both sides. I would not do that here for 2 reasons. A isn't 1, you'd have to force a to be 1, and b is odd. If you tried to complete the square, it would be a huge nightmare. You could also opt to do, yeah. Well, you can do quadratic formula is your 4th way, but I'd start by finding the discriminant and then putting in the quadratic formula. So it's up to you. I would either factor or do quadratic formula on this. This may not factor either. So I may spend some time trying to find the factors and realize that there aren't any. And then I'd have to do quadratic formula. because that would be my only method that will work on all of them. That won't be a total disaster. So I'm going to try and factor because usually that's easiest. And 2 is prime, so I know that's got to be a 1 and a 2. And then let me just take a minute and jot down some numbers that multiply to be 209. 3 does not go in. 4 does not. 5 does not. 6 doesn't. Maybe 7? I don't know. Nope. 8, I'd have to check it. 9 does not. 10, 11, maybe, I don't know. 11 and 19. So let's see, can I get a pair? 22, yep, there it is, 22 and 19. So it didn't take me that long. So, a negative 22 and a positive 19. X, 2x, negative 22. So you're a negative 11, you're a plus 19. So that means my x minus 11 equals 0 and 2x plus 19 equals 0. Solve each one and there's my answers. One answer is 11. The other one appears to be negative 19 over 2. However, so these are two different possibilities for x, or are they?
What does that mean? Don't speak in cryptic messages, Miss Lydia.
You gotta think. Are those both legitimate answers for x?
Probably not, Miss Jonas. Only one of them is.
Which one are you gonna get rid of?
19 over 2.
Why?
Because it's a fraction and it's probably not right.
What's x stand for?
The length. So
It's the side of a rectangle. You ever measure a rectangle and it had a negative length? No, that's impossible. I'm talking about an actual rectangle. I can't have a negative length. It could have been a fraction. You could have a fractional length, but I can't have a negative. The negative is what makes no sense. Yeah. So even though mathematically negative 19 over 2 is an answer to my equation, it doesn't matter. My equation is modeling this rectangle. And that rectangle cannot have a negative side. So that answer is useless to me. So that means that the only answer for x is 11. So if x is 11, I should be able to, did you have to find both sides probably? I forget what we're, yeah, find the sides. So x, yeah, one side's 11 and the other side is, nope, 19, because you're going to do 2 times 11, 22 minus 3, 19. So there's the sides of my rectangle, 11 by 19. So the rectangle is 11 feet by 19 feet. Does that make sense? They're not so bad, right? No. You're just using the tools that you already have. Setting up the equations isn't that bad. It's just now you got to use what you've actually learned. Use one of the 4 ways to solve quadratics and get your answer.